What is up, everybody? This is Anthony with VR 365. What is going on? We've got another show for you today, of course. It is Monday. It is September 23rd, and we are just 2 days away from Oculus Connect 6, which is going to be jumping off this Wednesday. Will we have lots of major announcements? Will there be all kinds of new games that we're going to find out about? Will there be all kinds of incredible new trailers? Is there going to be a huge blowout for the Respawn game? Are we actually going to get hands-on with the Respawn game? What about AR? What about Rift 2? Where is Oculus going with all of this? These are questions that we have going into Oculus Connect 6. But instead of talking about predictions, I mean, I'll kind of touch on that a little bit, but I honestly want to talk about what Oculus should do rather than what I think they're going to do, but what should they do? What should Oculus be doing at this Oculus Connect 6? That is going to be coming up, obviously, in a couple of days. Real quick on the show notes thing, I just wanted to once again go over what the schedule is going to be like for VR 365 for this week, because it is a very busy week, actually. So here's the thing. I'm obviously doing this show today on Monday. Tomorrow, I will do an abbreviated episode on Twitch, probably like a half an hour. But I'm actually, when I do that episode tomorrow, I need to get my butt on the freeway and start making my way to San Jose, baby. On the way to San Jose. So I'm going to be driving to San Jose on Tuesday evening, hopefully after traffic has mostly settled down. Of course, traffic is always a problem in the Bay Area. It doesn't really matter. You could leave at 11 p.m. at night, and there still could be traffic problems in the Bay Area. But I am going to be bouncing over there and dealing with that. Okay, so Wednesday and Thursday, I'm going to be in the San Jose area. Will there be VR 365 live episodes? No, there won't be. But what I will say is there might be something of some type that could be recorded while I'm there. Maybe I could post something, but I don't know. I'm not making any kind of plans or any kind of guarantees of anything. So it might be all quiet on the Western Front as far as VR 365 is concerned until I get back Friday evening. And so Friday evening, we will, of course, have a regular episode of VR 365 Live. And that will be my first legitimate episode following Oculus Connect 6. So obviously all of my, the things that have happened at Oculus Connect 6, I'll be talking about things in greater detail for Friday's episode. So that's kind of how it's looking. And then another episode, of course, on Saturday. So just wanted to kind of give you guys a breakdown on that. Let's see. What else did we need to do? Oh, actually, you know what? We've got one other show note to do today, guys. And so check this out. Do you guys remember when I tried to give that Transpose code away the other day? I made a big mistake. Apparently, I had a typo on one of the letters that was in the code. I had a letter or a number that was wrong. And so it's very possible that, and it was right in the middle of the entire long string of digits, for the Oculus code for Transpose. And it's very possible that no one actually redeemed that code. So we're going to try it again. We've got new trivia, and we're going to try the code again. So why not just get it over with right about now? So I'm going to go ahead and grab that. Let me see here. I'm going to grab it, and we're going to go ahead and try giving this Transpose code away again. Okay, here we go. Bam. So now this is the correct code that is on the screen, but there is a missing digit. When you get to that last string of letters, you have TP something and then JJ. Okay, and so this is where the trivia is coming in for this. So the letter, the letter basically that is in between the P and the J, what is it? Well, the answer to this question is the letter. Okay, so this retro style 3D space shooter developed by Valve is included as part of the lab. It was available on launch day for the HTC Vive and remains one of the most underrated VR games you can play to this day. Okay, so a retro style 3D space shooter, kind of retro, developed by Valve. It's included in the lab. Gee, I don't know. What could that possibly be, folks? Somebody go ahead and answer. Go ahead and answer me in chat, because once we have the correct answer on the board, then I know I can move on from this. But we need to make sure that we get the correct answer so somebody will actually get this code and connect. Now, this is an Oculus game code, by the way. So you're either going to need a CB1. Ray Delatorre says Portal. Yeah, you know, the last time I went into the lab, I was playing Portal VR. It was awesome. I loved, you know, the full game, Portal VR. It's all there in the lab. And, man, it's such an amazing game. It's a retro-style 3D space shooter. It's awesome. Okay, but basically, wait, what was I just saying here? Yeah, so it was made by the lab. It's a 3D retro style space shooter. It was available on day one. Of course, the lab was available on day one. So what are the items that are in the lab? Well, I'll give you guys a hint. There's a game, not a hint, but basically there's a game that uses the bow and arrow. It is called Longbow. Now, that's not a 3D style space shooter, so it's obviously not Longbow, but Longbow is one of the games that is in the lab. So if the answer was Longbow, then you would use an L. The missing letter would be an L, but the answer is not Longbow. So we're waiting to see if anybody in chat can come up with the answer for this. I'm surprised that it's taken this long already. But basically what I was going to... Oh, somebody already got it. So F. Frank, you've tried it? Okay, yeah, see, the other day somebody might have figured out what the missing letter was maybe, and somebody already banged it. So anyway, the answer to the question is Zortex 26XX. Yes, Ozzy's Gaming VR comes in with the answer Zortex. So the missing letter is an X. And you know, the one thing I will say about Zortex, criminally with a capital C, underrated. Anakin Bell Made Simple says, that's my nickname, Longbow. Yeah, right. Criminally underrated. Zortex 26XX. Awesome game. And if you have a Valve Index, and I know you do, no, I mean, not all of you, but a lot of you, right? If you have a Valve Index, fire up Zortex, because it looks gorgeous in that Valve Index. It is so clean. It is so crisp. It is so dialed in. I'm a huge fan of Zortex. Think it's incredibly underrated. Think it's very fun. But anyway, let's go ahead and move on from that. So somebody might have already cashed that in the other day. But man, they would have had to really struggle and work for it if they ultimately did cash that in the other day, because there would have been a lot of letters that they would have had to thrown in there to try to figure all that out. Okay, so real quick, in some other news that's going on, we've got a number of little news stories that are popping up right now, but I did want to mention this game right here, After H. Okay, so this game right here, After H, it is a free-to-play game, and it is available right now, ladies and gentlemen. In fact, let me fire up the old Steam After H Steam. Let's see if we can check out the Steam page for this. It is available right now. The reviews are mixed, but you know, it's free, so you can get in there and try it. The one thing that I've heard is there's like locomotion issues. Like some people are complaining with the way the movement system works and stuff like that. I haven't really looked into it. Haven't had a chance to jump into this yet. But this is possibly a pretty decent little thing that you can play around here. You wonder, why would it be free? Well, it's free because they need the players. They need enough people so that when people are in an arcade and they want to play this game and they want to find a game with other people that are in it, there will always be other people in it. And the way to ensure that is to give it away for free on Steam. And that is a great idea. It's a smart way to go. That's what they've done. And so here it is. After H, you can see the reviews are mixed. We do have 12 reviews in there. It did launch today, September 23rd. Developer is Smart VR Studio. Let's take a quick look at these reviews. Let's see. This guy experienced it on a Samsung Odyssey Plus. And he's saying, visually very good looking game, only 3 guns, it's free, it runs smoothly. Okay, so here's where the negatives start. No right joystick rotation option. Honestly, I don't understand how any smart developer would think releasing a game without this feature was a good idea. It is unplayable without it. This needs to be the only thing they focus on adding immediately. No one will spend more than 15 seconds in a game without right joystick rotation. What do you mean by rotation? Like snap turning? What are you talking about? Because like there's games that don't have snap turning and I can still live with the game. I'm trying to understand what this guy's talking about here. I mean, if he's talking about snap turning, yeah, it's irritating to not have snap turning, but I don't know that it's as broken as he's talking about. Okay, well, anyway, here's another guy that says it's broken. Broken controls for Oculus Rift. I cannot try the game as using the Rift. You have no way to select any options or start the game as it will not recognize the touch controllers and thinks they need to be turned on or lit up. Yeah, why, dude, what is, like, let's complain for a minute, folks. Let's actually complain. Like we don't do it already, but let's do it again. What is up with developers? Like, seriously, if you're developing a VR game, is it so incredibly hard to have one freaking Oculus Rift in the building, one Rift S, one original HTC Vive? You know, is it so freaking hard to have, and even if you don't have them, okay, so there's developers that don't have them. They're like, dude, I'm a struggling developer, man. I'm broke. I don't have the money for that. Well, find somebody that does. Like, do some basic testing before you go live with a game. I'm so annoyed every time I fire up a game and it doesn't work in a Valve Index or it doesn't work in the Rift or it doesn't see the controllers right. I'm like, why would you shoot yourself in the foot? It's hard enough to sell a game in this modern day and age, much less when you shit on yourself, like it's your own fault that it's not working because like you didn't test it on the various platforms. Like how freaking bass backwards is that? It is terrible. Come on, devs, it's hard enough. Like even if you did everything perfectly, you still might fail miserably. But at least try to do everything perfectly. At least make it not be your fault that you failed. Make it be some external thing that happened that caused failure, not your own damn fault. I'm always amazed when, like, dude, the Oculus Rift is not a small platform. The HTC Vive is not a small platform. If your game works for one headset but doesn't work for the other ones, like, what are you doing? Seriously, there's no excuse. There's no valid excuse. And if there's any dev that thinks there is a valid excuse, dial me up right now, bro. I'll get you on the show right now. Let's have at it. Okay, so let's get into some actual news of the day. And the biggest news of the day, of course, is a Debbie Downer story, and let's go over to the webinar here. And so here is Espire 1 VR Operative. Now, this game was originally going to come out tomorrow, September 24th. It was going to hit all the PC VR platforms. It was also possibly going to come to Quest that very same day. September 24th, it was going to be the big day, the big arrival for Espire 1. This is a game that everybody was yapping about at E3 in Los Angeles. It was one of the games that kind of stole the show in terms of one of the best VR games that was shown, at least for the people that tried it out. I actually tried this game back at GDC. The demo that I got wasn't tremendously impressive, but part of the reason was it was this tiny little spot in a tiny little booth, and I didn't have much room to move around, and the Guardian was way too close, and I kept bumping into the Guardian, and it was hard for me to enjoy the experience. But even what I did try, even under those circumstances, did seem like it was pretty good. I was at the Tripwire Interactive booth at GDC when I tried it out. Now, the thing is, release dates. Okay, so this has been delayed, and basically the news is that it's being delayed several weeks, okay? So several weeks. If we look at the release date right here, it says fall 2019. So basically it's being delayed several weeks here. Now, lots of people are bitching and moaning, okay? Especially, like I was just over on the Oculus Rift subreddit, and if you go into that subreddit and you go into the topic about Espire 1 being delayed, there's a lot of bitching and a lot of moaning. And, you know, ultimately, here's the situation, folks. Unfortunately, VR games, like, we don't have solid, locked-in-stone release dates when it comes to VR games. It's something I've had to deal with for the last couple of years. I mean, I got this little website, vrgamerankings.com, which I'm trying to update on a relatively regular basis, but it's difficult. I'm not going to lie. There's so much outdated stuff over there. It's really quite embarrassing, but, you know, I got this 40-hour-a-week job thing. I'm also doing this, and I'm doing some other stuff as well, so I am trying to bang over there on vrgamerankings.com. But it's difficult because on that website, we want to have release dates. And the thing is, there's a lot of games that don't have release dates. And then there's games that do have release dates, and the release dates are constantly changing. They're constantly adjusting. And see, the reality of this is that a lot of this stuff is coming in hot, okay? It is coming in very hot. It has not been done for months, you know, where they're just buttoning it up and they're just doing testing. The game was done 2 months ago. We don't really have that kind of a situation in VR. In fact, the only area that you can go to where we have that kind of situation is actually on PlayStation VR. Every once in a while on PlayStation VR, we will hear a release date for a game that is well in not like super well in advance, but maybe like a month ahead of time. We get a locked in stone release date for Blood and Truth or for Everybody's Golf or something like that. We'll get a locked in stone release date, and Sony sticks to their guns. They usually make their release dates. Now you might ask yourself, well, why does it only happen over there with Sony? But here's the thing. It only happens with Sony, and it only happens with the biggest games, okay? It's not happening with every little rinky-dink game that comes to PlayStation VR. Those dates change all the time. It's really only the major bangers, the big ones, okay, the really big games. And the reason they're able to have a locked in stone release date is because the freaking development team and the money, the budget that was thrown at the game supports that. They've got enough money to work on the game, they've got enough warm bodies to program the game, and they've got enough people to do the proper testing of the game and the quality assurance. They have it. It's built in. These are large studios that have tremendous experience. They know how to bring a product to market. All right, but a lot of these other developers, I mean, Tripwire Interactive wasn't born yesterday. Now, they're not the developers. Technically, they're the publishers. Digital Load is the developers. But Tripwire Interactive, they've been around the block a few times. But, you know, what happens is, as you get very close to release, for a really big game like this, what happens is all the little codes start going out to all the little YouTubers. Although I still haven't gotten my code. What's up with that, Tripwire? I was there, bro, at GDC playing your game. In fact, you've got footage on YouTube of me playing your game. Where's my code for Espire 1? Okay, enough of that. But no, seriously, these codes come out. All these people are playing it. Bros like Gamertag VR, you know, they're in there, they're playing this game. And what happens is when it gets out to the great unwashed out there, we know Gamertag VR never takes a shower. Just kidding, just kidding. But when it gets out there to the general public, the general public has an ability to bang away at this shit unlike anybody else, unlike any Q&A testing that is internally in studios. And so sometimes issues are discovered, problems are discovered. And you know what? I'm not going to blame Digital Load and I'm not going to blame Tripwire Interactive, because in this very finicky, fickle VR marketplace that we have, you've got one chance to make a great impression. And if you come out with a bad impression right from Jump Street, it can sink your game like none other. We've seen it happen over and over again. A game comes out, it stumbles out the gate, and even if they correct it and they fix it and it's working butter smooth a couple of months later, everybody has moved the F on. You know, everybody has moved on. No one cares anymore. The hype has fallen through the paper bag and it's all over with, right? So it is critical. You know, timing is everything. We've always heard that expression, timing is everything. But I think in the VR gaming market, it's even more important because we do have a relatively small market, guys. I mean, we're kind of a niche within a niche. You know, we're right there with the dudes that have 3 monitors that are playing Assetto Corsa. We're pretty much right there with those bros. That's how much of a niche we are. And you've got to, I heard Anthony on royalties. You've got to nail your launch. The other thing too, conspiracy theory. Okay, now I seriously doubt this is the case, but conspiracy theory, not the best timing, Tripwire Interactive. I'm assuming Tripwire planned September 24th. I don't think you launch your game a day before Oculus Connect 6. Bad idea. Bad idea. Do you remember when Five Nights at Freddy's was going to come out like the same day that the freaking Oculus Quest was coming out and the Rift S was coming out? Bad idea. Five Nights at Freddy's. They found out later. They're like, oh shit, there's this other platform that's like everybody in VR is going to be hyper focused on the Oculus Quest and the Rift S. And we're going to be overshadowed. Oh, let's delay for a week. That's what Five Nights at Freddy's did. Probably a very smart decision, right? Because what happens is your shit gets buried, man. As good as Espire 1 could have been, it would have been buried in Respawn, you know, Titanfall VR or whatever the fuck, whatever game it is for Respawn and whatever other new games are announced and some big game for the Quest that nobody knew about and maybe some AR demos or whatever. Maybe they talk about Rift 2, but all that stuff would just bury any kind of like, oh, Espire 1 review, it's doing really good. Nobody would freaking see that shit. It would get buried like a mofo. Bad week to launch a game anyways. So probably a good idea every which way around. So that is the situation there with Espire 1. I don't got no problems with them delaying it again. People get pissed though. You continue to delay and delay and delay. Do you guys remember that game? What was it? Area of Darkness Sentinel. They delayed that game like 7 times, right? And it still isn't out. It's just an example of VR. It's just an example of the way VR is. It's a tough little market right here. Okay, so speaking of release dates, ladies and gentlebots, we do have a release date that apparently is hopefully going to stick. Let's talk about this one. That is Pistol Whip, ladies and gentlemen. You know, they could have a better logo than that. I'm going to tell you right now. As somebody that looks at the logos, because the logos end up on the game profile page typically for whatever game it is. Pistol Whip, come on. You got to have a better logo than that. Just a general white background with a guy getting shot up. You can do better than that, Cloudhead Games. Okay, so anyways, here is Pistol Whip. And as you can see, the date is November 7th. It is locked and loaded, and it is coming on November 7th. Also, what did we find out? Questicle confirmed. Questicle confirmed. Nostradamus said it a long time ago. I said it the second I saw the footage for this game. This is a Questicle, baby. And you know what? We've noticed it with a lot of games, right? Not Boneworks. What is it called? Blast World, I think it is. I knew Blast World was a Questicle too. You could you could look at the art style and you know. I do like these visuals are kind of crazy. Let's just take a look at some of these screenshots. I mean, we've got some vivid, crazy, look at that. That is a whole lot of red for that ass. Like, that is a lot of red. That is a sea of red. See, the thing is, I can't use this as a background logo. You won't see VR 365 anywhere. It'll disappear on there. So I won't be using that as a background. But yeah, so this is Pistol Whip. There is excitement for this. There is hype for this. And there is a brand new trailer. And check this out. How about them apples? Guess what? I've never seen the trailer. I know it just came out today. I was at work all day. I did download the trailer. Why don't we watch it together? I've never seen the trailer, brah. So why don't we check it out? So let's go ahead and check out the trailer for Pistol Whip. So we're going to go back here over to our standard type of a scene here. And I'm going to pump up the volume on After H, and then we're going to check out the brand new trailer, world premiere. Brand new trailer for Pistol Whip. Let's go ahead and check it out.
Violent content. Parental discretion is advised. Dark. Incredible. Okay, so that is the brand new trailer for Pistol Whip. So apparently what they did, ladies and gentlemen, is they grabbed Tim from accounting. They put him in a nice suit, gave him a gun, and said, hey, bro, do your best Jason Statham impression. We're going to film you walking down hallways and blasting your gun everywhere. And, you know, when I'm looking at the footage of this game, you know what I'm really reminded of, actually? Let me show you guys. I'm gonna pull up a Steam page for a different game. But it reminds me of another game. Let me see here. Yeah, it reminds me of this other game that you can buy for 99 centilla. 99 centilla. It kind of reminds me of this older game. So anyway, let's bounce over to the webinar and see what I'm talking about. So this game right here, Dimension Hunter. Like, it does remind me of Dimension Hunter a little bit, because if you guys have ever played Dimension Hunter, when you're playing this game, you're kind of on this automatic moving rail system. Like, it's kind of automatically going, and as you're going through the level, the music kind of, you know, it has all this cool music that's popping off, and you've got your gun, and you're kind of popping stuff to the beat, although not really, but when I was playing it, I was like, oh, they could have made this really work with the beat, and they didn't really do it. But yeah, if you kind of want a sneak preview of Pistol Whip, maybe grab Dimension Hunter. And by the way, did you know, ladies and gentlebots, 99 centilla. 99 cents, $1. $1. This is your homework assignment. Okay, Espire 1 ain't gonna be there tomorrow, bro. So buy this for $1. You might get a little bit of a taste of what Pistol Whip could be somewhat like. This is not a bad game at all. In fact, you know what's funny? Check this out, folks. Look at this right here. Dimension Hunter is the most pure fun since Super Hot. Who is that by? VR Game Rankings. Yeah, buddy. This is like my one claim to fame. I should show my mom this page. Dude, VR Game Rankings, man. We made it. Dimension Hunter is the most pure VR fun since Super Hot. And I really did think that. Like when I very first played it, I really did. It kind of reminded me of Super Hot. And going back, of course, to Pistol Whip, it definitely does have a little bit of that Super Hot vibe to it. And it's got the music, it's got the action, and you're basically, it is kind of a badass simulator. You are a badass. They might as well just call it Badass VR, you know, because that's the idea behind the game, is you want to be a badass like a mofo. And we're seeing this screenshot right here where it kind of shows like a movie poster for Black Magic type thing right here, right? And you can see easy, normal, hard, and it gives you what the song title is, the artist, the tempo, the length, how many enemies, personal best. So it's almost like Audica, bro. It's almost like you're playing Audica. It's almost like, you know what? Here's the elevator pitch, right? Super Hot and Audica had a baby. Yeah, Super Hot and Audica had a baby, and it is called Pistol Whip. And it is coming on November 7th to all major platforms. Oh, not quite. PlayStation VR trailing a little bit behind. So yeah, PlayStation VR not going to have the game available on November 7th for PlayStation VR. But it is expected to still arrive at some point in the fourth quarter. So possibly later in November or December, it could arrive to PlayStation VR. So if you're Kevgret, don't worry so much about it. It is going to come to PlayStation VR. And JP says, why 99 centilla? Talking about Dimension Hunter VR. I don't know. It's kind, I mean, it is short. Like, I know it's not long, but like, are there that many VR games that are long? Like Dimension Hunter VR, maybe you could finish it in like 2.5 hours or something, or not even that. Maybe it's like an hour and 45 minutes or even less to like run through the entire thing. Of course, have I finished it? No, I got to the part where there's like dinosaurs and stuff and didn't finish it. But yeah, that is Pistol Whip. It is going to be coming on November 7th. We did check out the brand new trailer. Looks pretty cool. It is a questicle, and that's an interesting thing. And you know what? That's going to be kind of the topic. I mean, it's a background topic of Oculus Connect 7, Oculus Connect 6. I'm sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself here. But while I'm there at Oculus Connect 6, I mean, I'm guessing there's going to be a lot of developers there and a lot of developers showing off their different games. And I wonder if I'll get an opportunity to maybe do a little ad hoc interview, like right there on the spot. And I'll ask them, I'll say, so, what's your thoughts on questicles? Do you feel like this game is a questicle? The guy will be like, a questicle? What the hell are you talking about? So, you know, a questicle, a game that was basically watered down so it could be on the Quest, and it's also going to be on other platforms, but, you know, watered down for the Quest. We call it questicles over there at VR 365. But that's kind of the story of Oculus Connect 6, maybe. It's a questicle fest over there. I won't be the least bit surprised if Oculus Connect 6 is just a gigantic questicle party of like, yeah, look at all these Quest games, and oh yeah, there's a couple of PC VR games too. That is awesome. Okay, so anyway, that is Pistol Whip. We are excited for that. Okay, let's see. What other news do we got? Well, you know what? Speaking of questicles, it pays. Crime pays, ladies and gentlemen, and it pays to be a questicle. Let's go to our next story. Apex Construct. Apex Construct by Fast Travel Games is the latest in another long line of games that were originally on other platforms, but they came to the Quest, and when they hit the Quest, sales exploded, baby. Sales exploded. Look at this. Oculus Quest version of Apex Construct is the best-selling version among all platforms. Shocker of shockers. The Oculus Quest version of Apex Construct VR is now the best-selling of all available versions. To celebrate this, we're giving away an Apex Construct decal for the Quest headset. Simply retweet and follow before September 25th, and it can be yours. Okay, wait a minute. Fast Travel Games, dude, give away the Quest too, though. Don't just give away the decal. You got to give away one freaking Quest while you're at it, man. Come on, give that Quest away, baby. Give it away to one lucky gamer out there. So yeah, the sales on Quest, fantabulous. We've heard this before. Like, we heard this with Red Matter. We've heard this with what was the other one? Richie's Plank Experience, you know, a number of different games. I think The Exorcist VR was another one. Basically, all these games that are coming to the Quest are enjoying their best sales. Now, the thing about Apex Construct, it was in the right place at the right time, because the thing is, that game at launch on May 21st, when the Quest came out, that was one of the more big boy games of the bunch in terms of like a full-on adventure, like an entire adventure that you can have. I'm a fan of Apex Construct, by the way. I played the game quite a bit on, actually I started on PlayStation VR. Remember, Apex Construct, when it first arrived, it was exclusive. It was exclusive to PlayStation VR for like 45 days or something like that. Then it came to PC VR. And then, of course, on launch, it did come to the Quest. But, you know, the fact that it's the best selling on Quest, that speaks a lot, because you think about that exclusivity window it did have on PlayStation VR, yet the Quest version still outsold that in a major way. And so success is there. If you can get your game on the Oculus Quest, and if people are generally happy with what you brought to the table, you're going to sell a lot of copies. Of course, here's the problem though. See, everybody finds out about, there's always a downside, right? Here's the downside, folks. Everything's great on the Quest, right? So now it's an effing gold rush. So everybody and their mama's uncle wants to get their games on the Quest ASAP. They want to get it on there because everybody's just freaking getting wheelbarrows full of money with no effort whatsoever. You get your money for nothing and your chicks for free. So that's what everybody's doing, right? Now there's going to be a fucking, excuse me, I'm cussing way too much. Rewind, cut that out. Stop with the cuss words already. Okay, there's going to be a mad dash by all of these developers to get games on the Quest. It's going to flood, and they're not all going to be successful, man. When that flood comes, not everybody's not going to be able to handle it, although the Quest is going to sell very well this holiday season. It's going to be the talk of the town for the holiday season. It's going to sell very well, and so hopefully that'll work out and everything will balance out. But yeah, that is Apex Construct, folks. Doing very well, and I'm happy for Fast Travel Games. I think they deserve the success. It's good, it's nice, it's awesome. So anyway, let's bounce back over here. Now, one thing I did want to talk about is there is a game that released not too long ago, okay, that I was a pretty big fan of, but you know what? I could never play it on my favorite headset, brah. And my favorite headset, of course, is the Valve Index. And I just wanted to mention really quick, so last night I wanted to try the demo of Blast World, and I fired up my Valve Index and I tried to get the demo of Blast World to work. Couldn't get it to work. Now, I think the problem may have been that there wasn't enough people online at that time, because I was playing pretty late at night on the West Coast, the best coast, but most people around the world are asleep unless you're in Hawaii or New Zealand or something, and nobody gives a damn about those people, right? Am I right? Yeah. So I couldn't play Blast World. Disappointed, right? But what I remembered was, wait a minute, I remembered Until You Fall. It's playable on the Valve Index now, man. It doesn't have like full 100% legit support for the Valve Index, but it's playable on the Valve Index. So I fired it up, and I gotta tell you, drop dead gorgeous. Drop dead gorgeous. This game looks absolutely stunning. Stunning. It looks really, really good on the Valve Index. One of the things I've said about the Valve Index, and it doesn't make sense, it is not logical, ladies and gentlemen. It really is not logical that colors would be so vibrant, that they would pop so much on the Valve Index, because it's LCD, man. It's not OLED, it's LCD. How are the colors popping so goddamn much? But you know what? They pop. And pop they do, and they're popping quite well. And so if you happen to have a Valve Index and you've got Until You Fall, fire that puppy up and enjoy the Technicolor, baby. Enjoy the Technicolor. I did have a couple of little issues, though. There was this one part. So I started a brand new game from scratch, and I was going through some of the basic stuff, and I got stuck in this one stage where it was asking me to do something with like the grip buttons, and I couldn't get past that. So it might have had a little bit of Valve Index stuff, you know. But the developer, Shell Games, what they mentioned a while back is they mentioned that there will be official Valve Index support in October, at some point in October. This is still not official Valve Index support. This is unofficial Valve Index support. And I did find a point where I was stuck and I couldn't get past anything. And that was a little bit frustrating, but I did get a chance to see it. Looked gorgeous. So just wanted to mention that. Very beautiful. Okay, did we cover pretty much all the stuff that I had coming in to our show here? I think I covered, yeah, we got another trailer that we could go to, but it's a little tiny game. We don't need to worry about that. I will mention real quick, why don't we go back to the webinar before we get into some little OC6 talk here. Let's go back to the webinar real quick, and let's go ahead and check the Oculus store, because I do always like to see what is the daily deal. Is it anything good? Is it anything exciting? Well, maybe. Okay, so the daily deal is Gunheart, and it's 15 bucks. I remember a long time ago, wasn't this game like a $39.90? Was this $39.99 when it first came out? So, gee, you can get this for a hell of a lot less than it cost when it first came out. You can get this for 15 bucks. You got a little bit over 6 hours left, 25% off, normal price, 20 buccarinis, which is already a deal. Like, I know this was a lot more. It dropped down to $19.99, which was a pretty good, you know, a smart move by Drifter. No longer going by Drifter Entertainment, by the way. They're going by Drifter. They just cut off the entertainment part of it. And it was a smart move for them to get down to that $19.99 price. Why? Because I argue it all the time. It's a psychological thing, bro. It's kind of an unfortunate thing for developers. Like, it's really unfortunate. But all of us in the PC VR world, we've been freaking trained. We're like trained dogs. And when we see a game that's $19.99 or less, we consider it. When it's more than $19.99, we look at it like, what the hell are these fools trying to do? We might still buy it, but we might not. But so Gunheart got dropped down to $19.99, and now it's $5 even cheaper than that, so you can grab it for 15 bucks. I think this is a good game. I like this game. You know, the interesting thing about this game, there are some parts of this game that really remind me of Halo. I don't know why, but there's some parts of this game that really remind me of Halo. Kind of like Halo, like especially the indoor areas. You're going through some of these little indoor areas. None of these pictures of, well, this is an indoor area right here, but you can't really see what I'm talking about. But something about the indoor areas just remind me of Halo for some reason. You got these crazy bug enemies, and of course there's like multiplayer and like, there's like co-op and stuff like that. The other cool thing about this game that I will mention is the developer Drifter, don't call him Entertainment, the developer Drifter went above and beyond the Call of Duty from a standpoint that when this thing first launched, it was not single player oriented really at all. It was kind of an afterthought, the single player aspect of the game. And then they went back in and they updated it, and now you can play this game and it is a straight up, like, it's a legit single player. Like, there's story, there's voiceover, it walks you through the whole game. Like if you haven't played Gunheart in a very, very long time, like if you played it way back when it came out and you haven't played it since and you're kind of a single player guy, fire this up again, man, because it really has a good single player like vibe now that is pretty cool. But let's go back to the Rift store. Let's just see if there's anything else that's popping off right about now in terms of like any new releases or anything. You can see Pistol Whip is now on the coming soon. Cloudhead Games, do something about this logo. You can do a better logo than just pure white background with just a little bit of logo. Come on, I know you can do better than that. Okay, looking at new releases, anything new that has popped out? Not really, not really. The last big game, again, is still Groundhog Day, so nothing really popping off over there. Let's go ahead and check Quest real quick. Looking at Quest, I wonder when Quest is going to have a daily deal. Probably next year. Probably next year, not this year. Of course, we did hear Dreadhalls and Gadgeteer coming to Quest. Pistol Whip, of course, is coming to Quest. Just a quick check on new releases, and yeah, Wands is still the newest release. All right, well, let's talk a little bit of Oculus Connect 6. So let's go ahead and go back over. Actually, you know what I should do? I have not checked chat this entire episode. Terrible, I know. Terrible of me to do that. Like, dude, isn't chat like a major part of the show? Or does chat not matter at all? You be the judge. No, I should involve chat a little bit more. Okay, so let's go ahead and scroll back a little bit here. Phil Yarn says, damn, late again. What up, my fellow VR nerds? What did I miss? And someone came in, VR Spy Guy says, hey, Phil, guess what? You missed Anthony dropping the F-bomb repeatedly. Yeah, I did really have, like, I dropped a lot of F-bombs in the early part of this show. Not sure why I was dropping so many F-bombs. Shirzad Khan City, by the way, says he believes that Gunheart was $29.99. You know, I honestly think Gunheart was $34.99. I really think Gunheart was $34.99. But don't quote me on that. But I'm pretty damn sure it was $34.99. And RJ35 says, whoa, bro. Hawaii here, and I'm a PayPal backer. Yeah, I'm joking. No one cares about Hawaii, bro. No one cares, man. Hawaii's just these little ass islands hella far away. Dude, don't you get island fever, RJ35? Like, I go to Hawaii every other weekend right now. I've been to Hawaii a couple of times. I was just in Kauai, actually. The last time I went to Hawaii, I went to Kauai. The other two times I went to Hawaii, it was Oahu, like Honolulu, you know, the main island that most people go to, right? And every time I've been in Hawaii, there is a part of me that is like, there's no way I could live here, man. I would get, like, it's the island fever thing. You know, you feel like you're trapped. You're like on this small thing. And you know, like people would say, well, the USA is like a gigantic island, but it's just so much bigger, dude. It's just so much bigger. Something weird about being on an island. It seems kind of weird. But no, we all love Hawaii. We would all love to live in Hawaii, RJ35. So you're living a dream, living in Hawaii. Hopefully no freaking tidal waves will get you and everything will work out great. And Soren B says, New Zealand sucks. Okay, Schwig says, listening on my run. Thanks for the content, Anthony. That's a trip. Never would have imagined that somebody would be jogging around listening to my dulcet tones, okay, while they're jogging. I do imagine people driving cars listening to me, but not actually jogging. But yeah, that makes sense. F. Frank says, I'd love to live in Hawaii. There's no way I could afford it, though. Yeah, dude, Hawaii is expensive, brah. Oh, Bryant Foster says yes, it was $34.99. He checked the history on Steam database. I'm telling you, dude, my memory pretty effing solid. Like, my memory is pretty damn good, folks. So yeah, pretty good. Okay, so anyways, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about OC6. We don't really have much show left here, but we'll try to do a little bit of something. So let me see. I'm going to grab might as well grab a trailer for like Stormland or something, right? In anticipation of OC6. Okay, so one of the things that we're going to get into here is what should Oculus do? We know there's a lot of predictions out there about what everybody thinks is going to happen. And, you know, I could give my predictions really quick. Basically, I don't predict. So here's the thing. My first prediction is Rift 2, not going to see nothing. No Rift 2. Nada. There's not, I don't think they're going to mention Rift and number 2. It's not going to be mentioned. That's my Nostradamus prediction. I'm sorry, PC VR homies. The days are numbered, bro. The days are numbered. Now, Oculus is not going to completely step away from PC VR this quickly. In fact, there probably will be a Rift 2. But I don't think there's going to be any talk of any kind of Rift 2 at Oculus Connect 6. Now, having said that, I do believe we will see some information and some talk and some breakdowns on future PC VR technology. Okay, but they're not going to call it Rift 2, and they're not going to say this is coming anytime soon. But we might see some varifocal lenses back in the mix. You know what I mean? Like Abrash and Carmack. We might get some far-flung future talk about PC VR. Like 5 years from now, maybe this will happen. And 5 years from now, we're going to have full body tracking so Anthony can finally shut the hell up. I think maybe some of that, but not any Rift 2. Because I don't think they're going to want to trigger anybody, all right? Rift, so there's no Rift 2 talk. So for all the really hardcore PC VR lovers that were down with freaking DK1 and DK2, and you got the freaking poster with Palmer Luckey and Zuck and all of that, and you are through and through, you are Oculus fanboy, or at least you used to be. No love for you, bro. Unfortunately, I think it's going to be pretty much all bad news for you, because here's my prediction. Okay, so Stormland, we're going to have a date that is locked in stone. All right, Asgard's Wrath, we're going to get a date that's locked in stone. So this is going to break from the norm in terms of games coming in so incredibly hot, not knowing what kind of date they have. My personal opinion, I think Stormland is done. I think Stormland is finished. Like, the game is done. I'm sure they're polishing it up and doing a little bit of extra stuff, but I believe they could release Stormland today if they wanted to, but I think they're going to have a date that is going to be like October 26, 2019, Stormland. You know, they're going to have a date for Stormland. They're going to have a date for Asgard's Wrath. And so we are going to get dates for those. Now, my Respawn thoughts, okay? We're going to get the name. We're also going to get a trailer that's going to have a lot of CGI. And it might have like a quick glimpse at gameplay. But I don't believe, like, basically, so the Respawn game, I believe, is going to be a Q4 2020 release. So it's a whole nother year away. There might be a playable, I think there is going to be a playable demo. They might have already said that the Respawn game will be playable at Oculus Connect 6. So we're going to find out what the game is. We're going to get the trailer. People might be able to play it a little bit, but it's a Q4 2020 game. Now here's my other thing. Last of Us 2 playable in VR. Oh my God, that is freaking breaking news if that's some real shit right there. But anyway, let's see, what else was I? No, I got thrown completely out the loop here with that news. Last of Us 2 playable in VR. Gee, I wonder if that's real. But what was I saying? So we're talking Respawn here. Oh, one other thing. Okay, so here's what Oculus should do, and I think they will do, is they're going to announce two more. Get happy, folks. Get happy. Two more big PC VR games, relatively big. Okay, not as big as like Respawn's game, not as big as Stormland, not as big as Asgard's Wrath, but two more PC VR, like not Questicles. These are not going to be Questicles. They might get ported to the Quest, but they're not Questicles. These are going to be legit PC VR games with high-end graphics. Now, what they're going to be like is they're going to kind of be like Killing Floor Incursion, Windlands 2, The Mage's Tale. You know, they're going to kind of be like that. Red Matter. You know, it's going to kind of be like of that quality. We're going to get two more of those that are going to be announced for early 2020, not coming this year, but early 2020. And then the Respawn game is fourth quarter 2020. Okay, now real quick on AR. So I don't believe we're going to see an actual like prototype of their AR headset. I do believe they're going to talk about AR, but it's going to be pie in the sky. I've already said this before. It's going to be kind of pie in the sky, like, yeah, you know, maybe by 2023, you know, we might have an AR product. But we're just kind of like looking at what that's going to be like. We're trying out all kinds of prototypes. We're testing. Maybe they'll show like some different early prototypes, but be like, you know, we haven't decided on anything. This is very much still in development, years away. You know, they'll say like, this is years away. This is nothing that's coming anytime soon. And then they'll have a nice trailer that'll show off some AR stuff. So we'll have that. Now, the real Nostradamus prediction I want is I do want this idea where on the Oculus Connect, you know, their big show floor area where people can try out games, I do want there to be some kind of thing that you can walk up to, and it's going to be like this panel. You walk up to it, and it's going to have a little headset thing that you kind of stick your head in there, and you're going to see some AR demo. Although I honestly don't think we're going to see that, but I want to see that. Okay, I do want to see that. Any other predictions? Well, other than that, it is all Quest all the time, baby. Oculus Connect 6 is going to be like, we have the Quest. Yay, we have the Quest, and we are incredible. And by the way, we've got the Quest, and it's selling very well, and the Quest is just doing great, and we're going to get so many freaking Quest announcements, and there's going to be so many announcements for games that are coming to Rift and Quest, but they're really going to be Quest games. They're really going to be Quest games masquerading as like up ports. They're going to be Questicles, you know, like down the rabbit hole. They're going to be Questicles. So they're basically like Journey of the Gods, Face Your Fears 2, what was it, Dead and Buried 2, you know, all those games that launched on May 21st, they all came over to the Rift. They really were Quest games, and then they got up-converted, up-ported to the Rift, better textures, stuff like that, more colors and stuff, better frame rate and that type of thing. And that's going to continue. In fact, you're going to get a slew of that stuff. And it might seem really good because no one in the announcements is going to say, this is a Questicle. They're not going to say that. You know, they're not going to say that this is really a Quest game, but we're going to put it on the Rift too. No one's going to say that. Like, you're never going to hear that. And even if I were able to interview these developers and I'd be like, come on, it's really a Quest game, right? You're just kind of up converting it, you know, making the textures a little bit. Like, no one's going to say that. No one would dare say that. So you're not going to hear that. Oh, in chat, Raging Beard says Oculus Quest Deluxe Head Strap. Damn, that should happen. That should happen. That really should happen. But didn't we recently hear in an interview, I don't know if it was like John Carmack or if it was Jason Rubin or somebody, didn't somebody say that there isn't going to be any kind of like optional audio accessories for the Quest or any? That is dumb. Dumb with a capital D. I mean, I guess from Oculus's standpoint, I guess they don't want mixed messages. Like, that would be the fear that they have, is we don't want mixed messages. We don't want people to even know that there's some kind of accessory for better comfort, because what does that do? That basically admits that the comfort wasn't there in the first place. That kind of admits that the comfort is a problem, and they don't want to admit that, so maybe they got to wait a year or so. But it's unfortunate, because how awesome would it be? They don't need to like have advertisements on TV about a freaking deluxe audio strap. They can make it a situation where only the hardcore Quest fans are going to go to the website, and they're going to go to the accessories, and they're going to be searching through all the accessories, and then they're going to see, oh, there's this optional head strap that includes audio. It's an optional thing. It's $99. Like, it could be like a stealth thing like that. Like, that's the way you do it, right? But they're probably not going to do that, because, again, it gets out, it gets into the news, and then your regular Joe Schmo person finds out about it, and they're like, what is this? So the Quest isn't comfortable? Oh, shit, I'm not going to get a goddamn Quest. Where's my Xbox, goddammit? And the Raiders are on. Let's watch the Raiders. Okay, but yeah, that's my thought on that. Okay, so I'll continue to check chat here. Okay, let's see. Great Tantrum says, what if the Quest will officially be supported for PC VR gaming? The higher resolution, refresh rate, and eye slider available for your PC VR gaming in Quest. Well, you know what, Great Tantrum, so there were rumors about this, wasn't it? Like, some YouTuber guy had some kind of video that was like, oh, this has been leaked. It's the freaking adapter for your Quest, and Oculus is going to officially do this and all this stuff. Not buying it. I'm not buying it, ladies and gentlemen, because, again, I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think that's going to happen, because you know what? You're confusing people. Remember, Joe and Sally Walmart, they're easily confused. You don't want to confuse Joe and Sally Walmart. And you know, us hardcore of the hardcore, we actually make up a tiny fragment of the overall population of people that are like playing quests and stuff. The really hardcore people, we are an extreme minority. We're the ones that care about that shit. Now, if they were to do that, it would be some type of they would have to sell some type of an adapter thing, because they have to cover the loss that they're taking if you buy the 64 gig Quest. Okay, because they're going to, you know, it's going to be, they're taking a bit of a loss on that. And if you're buying that only to play PC VR games, that kind of pisses them off. But they could have some kind of streaming thing that would tie into the Oculus store, and it would work even better than like virtual desktop and ALVR and all these other solutions where you can stream. Like, it would stream even better. It'd be a little bit smoother, a little bit better frame rates, a little less blocky and all of that. And that would be a really cool thing, but I still think we're a little bit too early for that. Now, another thing I could postulate on is, and Chris Richardson says, I'm in for a big AR surprise, that the headset is already out. Okay, Chris, I can go down to Best Buy and buy the new Facebook AR headset? It's already out? Oh, shit. Dude, let's stop the show now, bro. Let's go to Best Buy and let's pick up our AR headsets. It's already out, bro. Okay, no, it's not already out. Okay, it's called Orion or whatever, right? Isn't that the project name? I don't believe it's already out, unless this breaking news is happening and I'm not paying attention. But what else was I going to say? Oh, one thing I think could possibly happen here. Actually, here's a real prediction, folks. A real prediction is Oculus finally is going to have some type of legit solution for people that want to make a business out of the Oculus Quest, okay? Because think of all the VR arcades. So check this out. I'm actually in a Facebook VR arcade like club, whatever, like a little Facebook thing, you know, that's all about VR arcades. And there are messages all the time, because I was thinking about doing this like mobile VR thing at one point, and so I was really into it for a minute there. there's messages all the time. Like this guy's like, hey, is this legal? I'm like renting out quests and I'm like putting games on quests. Is it legal? Hell no, it ain't. Hell no, it ain't legal. But you know what? It should be legal, right? Think of all the money that Oculus is leaving on the table. Now, I know there's this thing called Oculus for Business or whatever, but that's not what it's for. It's not for VRcades. It's for freaking BMW. It's for a BMW dealership that freaking signs a deal with Oculus and then has a custom-made app that is side-loaded onto the Quest. That's what that's for. They don't have a solution, ladies and gentlemen, for the Rift, Rift S, or Quest for arcades at all. And frankly, it's a major fumble, in my opinion. Okay, and I've reached out to Oculus, like I contacted them as a regular individual business, okay, that was looking into mobile VR. I contacted them and I said, well, you know, why don't you guys have like a springboard VR option? Where's your Coke to springboard VR's Pepsi? Not the other way around. You know, usually it's your Pepsi to their Coke. No, it would be Oculus's Coke to their Pepsi, because Oculus would be even bigger if they had their own version of like springboard VR. Basically, Oculus in-house copycat version of springboard VR. Where is it? And the guy told me Oculus Connect 5, we're going to have a lot to say about that. Okay, well, Oculus Connect 5 came and went. They didn't say a peep. Here we are a year later, they still haven't said a peep. So I think finally they're going to address that, and they really should address that. Let's see, what other topics have I not covered yet so far? But yeah, I mean, basically we're going to get a whole lot of Oculus Quest love. Is there going to be talk about Oculus Quest 2? No, way too early. Well, I mean, there's going to be talk about Oculus Quest 2 if you like go to like Michael Abrash's talk and John Carmack's talk, but it's going to be like hypothetical. They're going to be like, well, with Quest 2 and we'll probably do this, with Quest 3 we'll probably do that, with Quest 4 but all of these things are like years away, you know, so it's going to be kind of pie in the sky. Like they're not going to have a locked-in thing. Okay, so Chris Richardson says, no, Anthony, it's the Quest and Rift S that is the AR device. Okay, where are you getting this information from, Mr. Richardson? And Steve Drumheller of Conquer Reality. The famous Steve Drumheller of Conquer Reality fame. I still think you need to change your name to that, dude. Steve Drumheller. We all know Steve Drumheller. He's the Conquer Reality guy. I mean, he's the guy. Steve Drumheller of Conquer Reality fame. Okay, here's what he has to say. I think Anthony is right. OC6 is going to be all about Questicles, all about software, which is really what it should be. We have enough headsets for now. Yeah, unfortunately, my fan base, all you guys want is hardware, hardware, hardware. You don't give a damn about games. But yeah, that's all we're going to get, really. Okay, Victor Del Mastro says, your friend is doing this. Which friend? Somebody's renting out quests illegally. Remarcus. Remarcus is doing it. You know, speaking of Remarcus, he's a guy I should interview, by the way. Like, you know, what I was saying with Tyrell Wood is slowly but surely I'm coming after everybody. You know, if you're a YouTuber in VR, if you're doing big things in VR, expect a freaking message from my ass about doing an interview. You got to come on, bro. You got to come on the show. We're going to go after everybody. Okay, well, it's been over an hour here. I do need to bounce out of here, but I was just going to try to see. Oh, Technic Freak says Oprah is going to give quests left and right. You get one and you get one. Yeah, I wonder if there will be something under our seat. You know, Tyrell Wood actually brought up an interesting idea. He said that there's going to be an Oculus Go 2. And I was like, I didn't comment on this during our actual interview because he like kept talking about other stuff. But he said something about there's going to be an Oculus Connect. I mean, there's going to be an Oculus Go 2. He thinks they're going to go back to the Go and they're going to make a Go 2. And I thought about that and I thought, nah, that doesn't really make. What can you do with a Go 2? If you make a Go 2 6 DOF, then you're basically infringing on the Quest. That doesn't make any sense. The one thing I will say about Oculus Go is I think the name Oculus Go is absolutely fan-effing-tastic. I think the name Oculus Go is really, really good. It is a good name. It's better than Quest. It's better than Quest. But it's too late for that now. It's too late for that now. We are in the world of Quest. And so Go, I don't know that we're ever going to see anything with Go. So, or maybe they'll call their AR thing Go or something like that. Okay, Metaverse Adventures says, at Chris Richardson, he did not say that the AR device is the Quest. He was just saying that AR may start with things like the Quest, with pass-through, but it needs to be better. So my whole theory on the AR thing, look, AR is going to be huge in these headsets. It's going to be huge. In AR, in VR is going to be a big thing. But that is a Quest 2 thing. That's not a Quest 1 thing. If you try to do that on Quest 1, it's going to be busted. It's going to be crappy. You don't want to give a bad impression early on. So you wait for Quest 2 for that. So I don't think so. I don't think we're going to see that. But anyway, I need to bounce the hell out of Dodge, folks, because I do need to get some food. I also need to do some other stuff. I got to get ready to go, man. I'm going to be on the road, bro. Tomorrow about this time, I'm going to be hitting the freeway on my way to San Jose. So I got to get the hell out of here. So let me just go ahead and put on my little logo thing so we can call it a day, call it a show, and moveon.org. Alrighty, folks. Well, that's pretty much going to do it for this particular episode of VR 365. Apologies for about 20 extra F-bombs that were totally unnecessary. But, you know, it did happen. I got a little bit excited there. Apologies for that. But yeah, I will be back tomorrow at 5 p.m. Pacific time. It's going to be an abbreviated episode, twitching it up. So I will be on Twitch. I'm going to get ready to hit the freeway, bro. And so it'll be kind of like a last minute, right before I bounce out of here kind of a show. And so I'll be doing that show. My next YouTube show is probably going to be Friday when I come back from Oculus Connect 6. There might be some kind of upload that could possibly happen. I don't know, because I'm not planning on bringing a laptop with me. So I don't know how I would upload the show. Maybe Chris, if Chris is going to have a laptop with him, maybe we'll try to film a little something and upload it. I don't know, but no promises at all. So I have no idea what's going to happen. And Zayla Maru and Tis the Season say State of Play. Yeah, State of Play is tomorrow. So we'll probably be talking about that quite a bit on the abbreviated Twitch episode. Will there be PlayStation VR games announced tomorrow? I believe there will, but my question is, will there be a big banger of a PlayStation VR game that is coming this holiday? This holiday, okay? Because we know about Iron Man VR. We know about Paper Beast. We know about Gorn, okay? We know about Audica. So there's some big games that are coming this fourth quarter to PlayStation VR, but I feel like there needs to be another major banger. Oh, you know, the last thing I'll say here, Technic Freak with a good question or a comment here, and I want to comment to this. He says Quest should be treated as a console and get many games. The most players are console gamers that are just waiting to throw that money at them. You know, the one thing I didn't mention about Quest really quick here, and I need to mention this before I bounce out of here, is, you know what we really need? Because I was talking about what should happen. See, this is the problem when people leave too early. Don't leave the VR 365 show too early, bro, because you never know how long the outro will be. These outros last, bro. So do not leave too early, because guess what? You leave too early, you're going to miss out on a comment like this. Okay, this might have been the most critical thing I should have said in this entire show in relationship to Oculus Connect 6. When I'm talking about what Oculus should do, okay, I think this was on our episode on Sunday on Twitch. One of the things that I brought up was we looked at the Quest lineup. And we were saying, okay, what exclusive does the Oculus Quest have? And I think we came up with 2 effing games. 2 effing games. There's 2 exclusives. Like if you go through the entire store of Oculus Quest, there's 2 exclusives. There's like Time Stall and one other game that I'm forgetting about. Like Time Stall and whatever the other game is, you can't find them anywhere else. They're not on Steam. They're not on the Rift store or Rift S store, CV1 store. They're not there. They're not on Steam. They're not on Viveport. They're not on PlayStation VR. There's only 2 exclusives on the Quest. That is a problem, ladies and gentlemen. That is a serious effing problem. Zuck and company, you guys need to rectify that S. We need some games that are on Quest that are designed. They need to come out and say, this is an exclusive Quest game. You're not going to see it anywhere, not even on Rift. And then later they can change their mind and bring it out on Rift like a year later. It's like what should have happened with Vader Immortal. It's what should have happened with Journey to the Gods and Face Your Fears 2 and Shadow Point and all those games. Like the Quest has no effing identity, man. It's a freaking port machine. Now, if you're brand new, if you're Sally and Joe Walmart, the Quest is a beautiful thing because you haven't even played Super Hot yet. You haven't even played Space Pirate Trainer yet. You haven't played Moss. You haven't played In Space and Akron and Cave Digger and all this stuff. And so it's great for Joe and Sally Walmart, but for everybody else, it has no identity. It needs its own identity. And here's what Oculus needs to do. Oculus needs to hire some banging ass developers. And by the way, here's another prediction. Insomniac, they're going to have a Quest game, bro. Insomniac is going to have a Quest game. It was already signed up before they got bought out by Sony. It's locked in stone, bro. There's gonna be an Insomniac Quest game. You heard it here first. The problem is, it's probably gonna be on Rift and Rift S as well. And that's a problem. It is a problem. It seriously is a problem because there's no effing identity. It's an identity. The Quest has no identity. The Quest is freaking Rift Junior. They might as well, dude, let's change the name. Okay, let's announce the Quest is going to be called the Rift Junior. It might as well be the freaking Rift Junior because all it's getting is Rift Junior games. It needs a goddamn identity. It needs a game that is designed 100% for the Quest, that is not designed for the Rift. And then, okay, 8 months later, they want to bring it to the Rift. That's fine, but make it an ironclad exclusive for a solid 6 months. So Quest owners can say, hey, you got a Rift S? You got a CV1? Eat your effing heart out, bro, because Vader Immortal 2 is only available on the Quest. It needs exclusives, man. Am I crazy? People think I'm crazy, but oh well. That's the last thing I wanted to say. All right, I need to get the hell out of here. Everybody have a wonderful Monday. Monday, of course, thank God it's Monday. Thank God it's Monday. I was at work earlier today, and I was like, oh, it's Monday. This is a beautiful day. Because here's the metaphysical minute for you, folks. If you can find your happiness on Monday at 9:38 a.m. in the morning, at 9:38 a.m. in the morning on Monday, if you can find your happiness, you can find your happiness any day of the week, brah. And that's the key to life. If you can be happy on Monday and Tuesday, you can be happy any day of the week. Even when Espire 1's getting delayed, you can still be happy, brah. Even when you don't hear nothing about no Rift 2 ever, you can still be happy, brah. All right, well, anyway, I got to get out of here. Yeah, still going. This is the longest outro ever. See, people really F up when they bounce too early. All right, guys, I will see everybody tomorrow on Twitch, twitching it up, twitching it up, twitching it up, and switching it up. All right, folks, see you then. Everybody have a good one. Take it easy. Remember, Gun Heart's on sale. Later.